Good evening, everybody. Just a sec here. Let me check something real fast. What's up, everybody? Yeah, so YouTube somehow screwed up my title of my video here, so I'm trying to figure out how to edit that real quick. If I can. I don't know if I can, though. I guess I'm just going to have to change it when I get done, maybe. Sec here. Yeah, I'll just skip it. What's up, everybody? So yeah, I don't know if my title of this video says 3 days fasted or not, but I broke my fast, obviously, a couple times. So it's a false title. Don't mind that. But yeah, this is supper time, not a breakfast stream. Anyways, I'm sure you guys know that already. What's up, Meat Man? How was your day? Day was good. Very good. Ziggy21, notice any muscle strength loss while fasting? Yeah, definitely. That's what I wanted to talk about today. I have some interesting things to report back. So basically I broke my fast after 3 days, and I just basically was eating like eggs, milk, and cheese. I'm trying to just eat what I crave. And I'm also doing an experiment with red meat, because basically red meat is the only thing that I haven't eliminated from my diet for a long period of time in the last 2 years. I've done this diet with excuse me, my throat's dry. I've done this diet with without milk. I've done this diet for extended periods of time without milk. I've done it without eggs. I've done it without butter. I've done it without cheese. I've done it without honey. I've done it without liver. I've done extended periods where I just didn't have any of those foods. And so I know what it's like to not have those. But I've never done an extended period in the last 2 years without red meat. I've even gone without fish. I've gone without oysters. But the only thing that I have not ever eliminated in the last 2 years is red meat. So, and I'm not going to like turn my back on red meat. This is basically just a total experiment. And it's based upon my cravings at the moment. So I'm basically craving only eggs and dairy. It's very interesting. And part of the reason I'm in the position I'm in right now is because I believe I overate. Like I overate like crazy the last 2 years. Because I'm not going to blame autogenous fungal planets for this, but when I hear something from somebody, like I take it very literally and I take it very seriously. And when someone says, get fat and happy, that's the best way to be on this diet, then I took it seriously. So I literally got fat and I got up to like 220 pounds. And it basically caused me to go into this fast because my body rejected all the food or whatever. So anyways, I'm wondering if I wasn't overeating on red meat, because I ate about 2 to 3 pounds of red meat every day for the first year I was on this diet. And then the last year or so, or last like 9 months or so, I cut back a little bit to about 2 pounds a day. So I'm still wondering if that might be much, you know what I'm saying? Even though I'm 6'3", I know that I need more food than the average person. I'm kind of basing that upon what other people eat, and rather than what I'm actually craving. So, and also I was basing it on my my weight of my body and stuff like that. So anyways, when I first started this diet, I was basically eating just a lot of red meat. So I got into the habit of just like shoveling red meat in every meal. And so I'm just going to do little experiments, and I'm going to see if I can induce a red meat craving and see what happens. So I'm just going to eat dairy and eggs for a while. And it seems to be working out pretty good, man. So just a sec here, let me get my chat box rolling. But anyways, yeah, today, today I'm having a hard time keeping track of time, but I think I've been fasted for, when did I have that last meal? I'm not even sure. But I'm fasted for like a day or two or whatever. And I was at work today, and I was working a little bit harder than I thought I'd be working, lifting a lot of shit. like crazy, and like just tons of heavy stuff. And I actually got into a situation to where I was feeling just a little bit undernourished. So I basically induced a craving by like working out pretty hard on a fast. It's not recommended to do. Like you're not even supposed to be like working while you're fasting. You're basically just supposed to be resting every day. So and that's usually what I do when I fast. But I had a kind of a schedule change up, and it was in the middle of my fasting experiment. So I just rolled with it, and I just went to work and yeah. So I just decided to go to work fasted. So I worked really good yesterday, fasted, but today it was a bit of a problem. So I went actually home on lunch today, and I slammed a glass of milk, raw milk, and I ate 3 raw eggs, and I ate like a couple huge chunks of raw unsalted cheese, and then I went back to work, and I was like just energized, man, super powered on just a glass of milk, 3 eggs, 3 raw eggs, and some raw cheese. So it's just amazing what raw dairy can do for you, man. Like, don't underestimate that if you can get your hands on it, is what I'm trying to say. And I've known there's like cultures, and there's people, and historically there's even like people that have just lived on milk alone. You know what I'm saying? And been really healthy people. So let's see what all this dairy can do for me, I guess. Beyond me, good morning, good evening. I almost said good morning. Harry Pot roast. Feeling better after your fast. Way better, man. I'm feeling clean, clear-headed. It's been just such a blessing, man. That's all I can say. I just feel like really lucky that that I'm open to fasting and that I'm able to do it. And it really doesn't, it's not painful at all, man, especially when you're 18 months on a raw primal. It's almost like I don't feel any real toxins dumping into me. But it's interesting that I'm craving cheese, because Ajahn has said that cheese is really good at absorbing toxins. So I'm wondering if this is all linked together with this like detox that's coming out of my lower back and all that shit, I'm wondering if my body is desiring cheese because it's detoxing something into my stomach. Ziggy21, I think that's a bit much. I think it is too, yeah. I mean, even for like, I'm 6'3", you know what I'm saying? Like, even for that height, I think 2 pounds a day of red meat is a little much. Meteor Man, Houston, Texas in the house. Shout out to the Midwest. Kai Salas, would working out more possibly balance out the overeating? Maybe more cardio? Man, I don't know. I don't think so, because I actually ran 6 miles last week, so it didn't do anything. I think my body actually, that was something that crossed my mind or crossed my subconscious. And so I decided to run 2 miles a day every day for 3 days, and it actually just made me feel worse. So I'm actually kind of against jogging nowadays. These guys on my chat got me convinced that sprinting is the way to go, and it makes logical sense that we wouldn't have done like 30-minute jogs. You just got to think about nature and stuff like that, and you got to think about what's motivating you to actually work out. And usually, I think I'm getting down to the bottom of it, but I think what motivates me to work out is more psychological than physiological. Ziggy21, I'd say a balanced primal diet of around 8 ounces of red meat, oysters, eggs, milk, honey, cheese, fish, and occasionally liver is the best. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right, yeah. Because like the more I'm actually reading like the Weston Price book too, it's showing you that just like people live on like nothing and they're super healthy. It's so weird. And I've seen other people on this diet eat like what I think is like eating like a bird, and I just don't understand it. So I wasn't really like open to it, but now I'm open to it. Eat raw meats. Bro, it's 1 a.m. here. I hope this isn't your stream time. I'm sorry, dude. There's nothing I can do about the time difference, man. Like, it's very possible. It's very possible. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how late you stay up, but if it's any consolation, I'm probably not going to do like 3 or 4 hour streams anymore on the weeknights. So if you can hang out for a half hour, an hour, that would be sweet, man. But I can even try to do them a little earlier too, because I actually get off work fairly early now. Harry Pot roast. I'm 6'2" and I eat 1 pound of meat per day, which seems to be my sweet spot. I used to eat up to 4 pounds. It made me feel like crap. Hey man, that's good. That's good advice. I mean, good. That's good info, I should say, because I kind of need to talk to people that are like around my height. You know what I'm saying? That understand what we need to eat to sustain, larger bone density, stuff like that, a little more muscle mass. The Wizard of Raw. Nice name, dude. Do you think raw is law? It's a natural law. Absolutely. Hey, by the way, guys, I banned the word Frank Tufano from my chat. So if you try to type the word Frank Tufano in my chat, it won't even come up. I don't ever want to see his name ever again. I'm tired of talking about that guy. Soulsy, are you fasting? No, I'm not. Well, not really. No, I'm not fasting. What I'm doing is, yeah, I guess I am. I'm fasting until I induce hunger, but it's happening pretty rapidly now that I've actually lost 10 pounds. So I'm getting down to like a more realistic weight for my height. I was 220. Now I'm down to 210. I think I honestly feel best about 205, 210, probably 200 to 205, something like that. But yeah, I'm kind of fasting and then breaking it with really light stuff like raw eggs, raw milk, stuff like that. And it's working out great, man. Like, I feel great. I seem to be looking fine. I'm not looking like I'm like dying or anything. And I'm able to work 8 hours a day. Abraham Ismail, should you eat raw salted cheese instead of pasteurized if that's what you can get? Yes. Yeah, don't ever do pasteurized. Patchy, late stream today, eh? Yep, definitely. I figured I would pop in and kind of see what kind of crowd is hanging around here in the evenings. It's really cool that you guys are able to make it. Chili, I've been fasting too off intuition. I wonder if it could be due to the seasons fixing to change. Yeah, I had that same thought today, and I think you're 100% right. So that's another thing, is I think that my body wanted to fatten up for the winter. And so I just decided to fatten the hell up, and I put on like 20 pounds. A little too hard. Eat raw meat, tried to slip it in there. That's a good one. It's about 6 p.m. raw meat. Eat raw meat. It's 6:05. Chat might be a little light today, guys. We had it was a bit bloody this weekend. We had many bannings this weekend. But I just don't care, you know what I mean? I'm not here for a popularity contest. I'm here for my friends. If I only have 5 friends, then I only have 5 friends. I don't need 50,000 friends on YouTube, you know what I mean? There's no way that one person could have 50,000 friends. So I would rather just like trim down my chat into, just regular people that come through here. It keeps the trolls away too, you know what I mean? When they see that there's regular people in the chat always showing up, you know what I mean? Meteor Man, I'm super happy with 1 or 2 pounds of raw meat at 6 foot tall. Interesting. 1 to 2, huh? Man, so I was eating like 3 last year, man. That was crazy. Wizard of Raw, I'm really attracted to raw dairy products, but not so much raw meat. I know what you mean, man. Like, I almost like force myself to eat raw meat, but I really crave the raw dairy and shit. So there's really something to that. I think we crave dairy because it's so easy to digest. You know? I might switch to A1 milk very soon, guys. So you're going to see a good experiment coming up here with raw A1 milk. I've been drinking nothing but raw A2 milk for like 6 months. And I'll be honest, man, I'm getting like really sick of driving 2 hours. And now I'm going to have to drive there 2 hours on a Monday night. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to scratch the Guernsey milk, guys. It's been a nice run. It's been great drinking Guernsey milk. It's good stuff. Pretty sure I'm not driving 2 hours next Monday to buy this shit anymore. 2 hours is too far, dude. Like 1 hour each way, it's too far for milk, dude, on a Monday night, you know? So everything I've researched about A1 milk, A1 raw milk, it's perfectly fine. So I think I'm just going to switch back to A1. It might be slightly less nutritious, but, you know, who cares? Maxwell Hanker, you can only sustain 150 friends. You got it. It's Dunbar's number, isn't it? 150, 160. Yeah, that's why this whole like YouTube thing is like it's interesting, you know what I mean? Because you got people with like, you know, 1.5 million subscribers. It's like, how many of those people would you actually have wanted to like hang out in real life? You know what I mean? It's like, I want to do streams where it's like, it's not a million internet trolls. It's like just a bunch of people that I would want to hang out with in real life. You know what I mean? So it makes the chat more readable, and it just makes the overall vibe just, you know, feel like you're just more at home, you know? Like we're more of a tribe than a bunch of strangers. Kai Salas, maybe your body is telling you it needs the nutrients from dairy rather than meat right now. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. You can't get into these binary type thoughts where it's like, it's either meat or dairy or meat, you know, dairy's good, meat's bad. It's all good. It's just at certain times you want certain kinds, you know what I mean? And you just got to kind of follow what your intuitions are. And it's amazing how messed up our intuitions are nowadays. You know, I've been on this diet for 18 months and like my food intuitions are still like super messed up. So I'm just kind of now starting to adopt, I think, a more natural eating pattern. And it mimics more closely what other people are eating. Like you guys have seen my streams. Like my meals are like ridiculous. It's like, you know, a whole plate of salmon, a pound of salmon, 9 oysters, like this much butter, which is way too much butter for one sitting, 5 eggs, you know, and I eat that 2 times a day. So it's no wonder that I ran into this issue of eating too much food. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just lucky that I read that book. This book. I'm lucky I read this book the same time it happened to me, because this book just like totally changed how I thought about fasting and everything. Highly recommend that book. I'm a little bit tired today. I actually like skipped out on a couple hours of sleep last night. Eat raw meat, and you think you will stream earlier next time? Maybe. I mean, it's going to be kind of hit and miss, to be honest with you, man. But if I know that you're going to show up if I go earlier, then I'll definitely try to do that. But I mean, the earliest I would be able to do it is probably about 1 hour earlier. You know what I'm saying? Just because of my work schedule. And it's honestly, in a couple months, it might totally change again, and I won't be able to stream until like probably like 3 a.m. your time, man. So, but also some good news on the weekends. Eat raw meats Saturday and Sunday. I'll try to do some breakfast streams, even if I'm not eating. I'll just jump on here. Sterling Archer, do you use salts while fasted? No. I actually just drink mineral water, which has like some natural sodium, potassium, and like chloride and stuff in it. So it seems to work out pretty good. I had a couple moments where I was getting some weird cramps, especially like in my neck. It was kind of weird. And then in the bottom of my feet, which is like textbook electrolyte imbalance when you get those bottom of the feet cramps like that. But just went away with a little mineral water. Eat raw meat. I would love to try A2 milk, but it's almost impossible to get in Germany. It's pretty tasty, man, but it's not that much more tasty than A1 milk, where it's worth driving 2 hours. I can tell you that. I drank A1 milk for a long time, and it was fine. Ibrahim Ismail, unrelated, but I think if you are a male between 14 and 17, gaining too much fat is a sign of toxicity. Yeah, definitely. Yep. Patchy, no problem. When I do that, I can down 3 pounds easily. I can down 3 pounds. It's just like, it's weird. I don't know like when I'm full or when I'm satiated or when, you know what I mean? It's just all my instincts are kind of off right now because I've been overeating for like 2 years. So I got to hit like a reset. I had to start fasting, break it lightly, fast again, break it lightly. I'm gonna do this over and over again. Probably till I'm gonna probably lose, probably gonna lose about 20 pounds. So I've already lost 10, and I think I'm gonna lose another 10. And basically, I'm just gonna just go as long as I can, like I did today, to the point to where like I have to eat. You know what I mean? Like today, I got to the point to where I had to eat, man. Like I was getting like I was like just getting lightheaded and like really weak. My legs were getting weak because we were doing like some heavy lifting today, and I did not expect that today. So it kind of snuck up on me. It was something that I didn't prepare for. So yeah, if you're gonna go to work and you're gonna think that you're gonna have to lift some shit or do something, then you're probably gonna want to eat. So, anyways, yeah, I had to break my fast at lunch today because literally I wasn't gonna make it through the rest of the day. So that was the first time that I've ever done that. That I've ever pushed myself that far to the point to where it was like extreme natural hunger, where I was like fantasizing about a glass of milk. That's what you have to do when you fast. You fast until you basically start fantasizing about food again. But until today, it was like I could give a shit less about food. It was weird. Like I just didn't think about it. Lucas, are you eating those eggs raw? Definitely. Wizard of Raw, I've been doing raw milkshakes with raw milk, raw eggs, raw kefir, raw cream, or raw kefir, however you want to call it. They call it so many different things. Kefir, kefir, and kefir. It's pronounced differently like all over the world. And raw honey, I feel like I could live on it. Man, I love those raw milkshakes. Yeah, the problem is I don't have any raw cream because my A2 farmer really, she just doesn't have cream that much available. But my A1 farmer, he's always got cream. So I think I'm going to head back to him and start getting some A1 milk, some A1 raw cream. Seems like everybody's fine on it. Jeremy, there's only one protein different with A2 milk, right? And I think it doesn't even make a difference because the drastic change between A2 and A1 milk is done with pasteurization. It's not done inside the cow. Eat raw meat. Too many cooks spoil the broth. I like that. Maxwell Hanker, what state? I'm in Nebraska. Double K, why would cooked food taste so good if we aren't supposed to eat it? Probably because you're seasoning the hell out of it. They're sneaky. They're real sneaky. Lots of salt, lots of seasoning, lots of sauces, all that stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll still hit up like a rare prime rib if someone wants to go to lunch. But that's only like once every couple months or something like that. Wolf Shange, Meteor Man, I'm also 6'1" and fine with 0.7 to 1 pounds plus 2 liters of raw milk. Man, you guys are helping me out here. I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to save so much money on meat. And I'll probably just put it into milk. So I think I'm going to substitute my meat for milk in a way. John Roast, yeah, man. Israel Athanasium, good morning. Lucas, WTF. Hang on a second. Patchy, Lucas, you seem lost. LOL. Yeah. Lucas, are you in the wrong live stream? Kai Solace, I'm going to experiment too. Right now, I'm drinking Jersey milk and goat milk 50-50. Going to try only goat milk for a while and see how the higher fat content benefits my body. I didn't know goat milk had higher fat, huh? Yeah, let me know how that works. Shelly, you must be new to the channel. We got a newbie. Everyone welcome Lucas. Mr. Scout. Raw eggs are something new to you, damn. Welcome to health. He gonna die soon. That's not very nice. Patchy, that's cap. Double K, Ismail, a cheeseburger. I love raw milk, though. Don't tempt me with those cheeseburgers, man. You know, I loved cheeseburgers for like over 30 years. So there's still like a little devil inside of me that loves like cheeseburgers and bacon and stuff like that. Speaking of bacon, guys, did you guys see those pictures of those hogs that I posted? We got 3 more of those. We have 6 hogs, and they're like ridiculously fat. And my boss is gonna have me help him butcher them tomorrow. I've never butchered an animal in my life. It's gonna be really cool, man. So I'm gonna chop up all these hogs with him, and then I'm gonna get to take home like whatever I want. So I'm gonna show you guys some pretty sweet stuff here pretty soon. Probably a lot of pork belly, and who knows, man. I might take the hooves home and let my dogs chew on the hooves. But today my boss brought 3 gigantic hogs in. So basically, he had something happen with his farm. Someone was watching his farm, and then they ended up like quitting their job with him and just left the farm and left the hogs there. And the hogs just like ate all sorts of crazy ass shit. Like there's like a tomato patch and like all this shit. They were just eating everything. So yeah, it's not like 100% grass-fed hog or anything, but I don't give a shit, man. Like I'm gonna try it anyways. But so this guy left all these hogs on his farm, and he had to go up there and butcher them and stuff himself and process them himself. And he was going to take them to the market, but the market was only going to give him 20 cents a pound because they were like too fat. Because apparently people don't like hogs that are too fat, which is really weird because isn't fat like what we're going for? So it's really strange, man. So like they didn't want the hogs because they were too fat. So now he's just going to take them to our work, and we're just going to butcher them up ourselves and just take them all home. Because he was like, I could give it away for 20 cents a pound. That's pretty ridiculous. So it's just kind of a weird story, you know? Like I go into work Monday and there's like 3 hogs just hanging by their hooves. Austin Trevino, would you eat a person if in a survival situation? If they were dead and I had to do it to live, most likely. Gotta do what you gotta do. Weston Price, hi, late stream, or it's morning there. It's actually 6:20 p.m. Hello, Weston Price. I'm enjoying your book. It's the Ghost of Weston Price, everybody. Spectre Bond, your burping signals no more food. Yeah, you know what's weird? This whole time I've been fasting, Spectre Bond, I've been having these weird like burps. I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but it's not like a real burp, but it just feels like something you kind of like, I don't know. It's one of those like sketchy burps, you know? And I was getting those during my fasts, so it seemed like my body was still trying to digest something from like last year or something. It was weird. Or like 2 weeks ago. Lucas, okay, I'm gonna eat raw eggs and I'm gonna lose 20 pounds. Thank you. All right, man. You will lose weight if you just eat raw eggs. Mr. Scowl, ironic how his picture looks like an egg yolk. Yeah, that's true. This is egg yolk. Lucas, I'm not trolling. I just want to know what he's doing. This is what I do, man. I eat raw meat, and I eat raw eggs and raw milk and stuff like that. So it's how I got really healthy. And so I'm kind of just trying to show other people how to get healthy, and show people how to not be scared of food. The world has made you scared of food, man. If you're scared of anything, you're already defeated. But if you're scared of food, you're dead. You know? Like being scared of raw milk or raw eggs or something like that, it's the dumbest thing in the world, dude. Like you just have to kind of open your mind, look around, check out a couple raw meat channels. You'll talk to 6 to 10 people that just eat raw meat their entire life, and they'll tell you they've never been sick from it. So, you know, all this stuff the medical system's telling you is hogwash. Ibrahim Ismail, unwanted fat gain is a sign of a protein deficiency. Yeah. Yeah, Lucas, how did you find my channel? We're just curious. Did it pop up in your feed, or were you searching like nutrition? I'm always curious how I get new subs, new watchers. Maven Taylor, dude, I broke my fast on the third day and my lymph nodes shrunk almost to nothing. Is that good? Does that mean like you had an infection subside? Lucas, what the fuck? I'm scared of you all. I'm out of this channel. Well, we can help you out with that here. Here you go. Now you're banned, Lucas. Now you're banned, Lucas. Alright, Wizard of Raw. Also love the lubrication formula. Maybe I will use that as my meat and do milkshakes and lubrication formula fast. Shelly, bye. Bye, Shelly. Double K, I think raw is interesting, but no, I cook all my food. A smoked Trump tip doesn't need any seasoning. You know, Double K, I think it's actually an interesting conversation about why people started cooking their food in the first place, but I'm starting to think that it's probably because you're trying to just basically mimic the body temperature of an animal. So like during like a fresh hunt or a fresh kill, you would have eaten the food straight off the animal, you know, in a primitive setting, and it would have been at like a proper temperature. So I think people have an aversion to raw meat because they imagine it being cold or something like that. But if you just get it to room temperature, it's really not that bad. Eat raw meat. Lucas is scared for life. Yeah, he is. Yeah, I think we scared the shit out. We traumatized Lucas. Morton O'Donnell. Yo, 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 you eating some fresh pork chops. Not yet, man. You guys are going to see that this week, though. I'm going to get, like, as much pork as I want for free. It's crazy. I'm only going to take, like, 50 pounds, though, because I don't want, like, 500 pounds of pork. Yeah, raw pork, absolutely, definitely. Wizard of Raw. You betcha. Double K, I smoke my meat and I couldn't picture eating it raw and it tasting better. I'm as healthy as can be. It's not about taste, man. That's one thing you'll learn about this diet is you're not eating for taste. You're eating for satiation and energy. And raw meat gives you far superior energy than cooked. That's one of the first things that I noticed when I ate raw. The only time I've ever like literally jumped off the table after a meal and literally went like, you know, woohoo, just in the air, like celebrating, because it was like such an energy burst. When I first started eating raw steaks, it was like an unbelievable feeling, man. So it's really just something you gotta try for yourself. You're not gonna understand it just by watching me eat it. Jeremy R., I've ate thousands of raw eggs in my life going back to the early 90s. That's crazy. Jeremy R., you've been at this for a while, man. It's good to have you in the chat, you guys in the chat, because I learn a lot from you guys, man. Weston Price, more than 10,000 raw eggs, still not dead. What the hell? Yeah, I've been eating raw eggs for 2 years. Meteor Man, hogs don't eat grass anyway. Yeah, I didn't think they did. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, right? And you know what's interesting about pork, guys, is like it's actually pretty nutritious. I didn't know that. Did you guys know that? Pork is like really nutritious and it's got like vitamin D in it and stuff, and like it actually compares with beef fairly well. Abraham Ismail, oh, if you drink raw milk, especially goat milk, don't eat it with the cooked starch. It gave me lymph nodes. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't think I'm down with that cooked starch stuff. Even though sometimes I do kind of crave like some taters or some bread. I don't know. Yeah, people are afraid of animal fat. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, they didn't want the hog fat. Martin O'Donnell, I've drank thousands of raw eggs. That's nuts, dude. It's the best food in the world, man. You can even look it up on like, it's even like mainstream knowledge. If you look up raw egg salmonella, they'll tell you like as long as the chickens were fed well, you're not going to get salmonella. So they've at least admitted that. Abraham Ismail, honestly, my dream is to become more connected to nature, eat raw meat, and do paintings and sketching art. That sounds cool, man. Yeah, I would like to get back into music again and get out in the country, start getting into music and stuff. Be fun, but Gotta be patient, I guess. This diet definitely teaches you patience, man. Emo Whisk K, what about cooked eggs? If you want to cook your eggs, go for it. But I mean, honestly, you're kind of like diminishing the nutrition quite a bit. And also the hydration factor, you're completely eliminating the hydration factor. Eggs are some of the most hydrating foods in the animal kingdom. Like if you're thirsty, if you eat a couple raw eggs, it takes care of it right away. If you cook them, you're drying it out, cooking all the moisture out, cooking the nutrients out, all that stuff. So, it's up to you, but I personally like to get like the most bang for my buck out of my food. So I think cooking it just kind of, it really, you're almost like ripping yourself off. Meep, yo, Weston Price. My dad and his siblings lived your diet because they were fishermen. Wide jaws, Lego. Note this is why he still has black hair in his 60s. Thank you, Wes the man. Yeah, that's interesting. I've been noticing that like Mexicans have like a wider jaw, like a wider, like that more natural Weston Price wide jaw thing. And I think it's because they're more connected to their native diet because they're almost, they've been less like Americanized. You guys notice that stuff? Like mixed people, you can see that stuff in mixed people and in like Mexicans and stuff like that. They have that really round, like puffy, almost like Eskimo face. And you can tell it hasn't been destroyed as much as the American face, with diet. Narrowed out, narrow nostrils, thin jaw. You know what I'm saying? You can see it in my face for sure. Like it's like narrower, like thinner than it should be. Like a lot of people have this issue, man. Like a lot of people got like screwed out of proper skull development. Okay, Tony Macaroni is banned for spreading fear-mongering. Yeah. If you guys like spread fear-mongering or anything like that on my channel, I'll just ban you. So just think twice before you guys post shit on the chat, because like I have no problems just banning everybody that says something retarded. Wizard of Raw, I've been doing some pineapple lately, and I have to say it helps. Pineapple sounds really good, man. I overate pineapple one day when I first started integrating fruit back into my diet, and it gave me like a gallbladder attack the next day. It was the worst feeling in my life, dude. Right in the center of my stomach, it was the worst pain ever because I ate like half of a pineapple. Definitely don't ever eat a half a pineapple. Wizard of Raw, I was fruitarian for many years. Ibrahim Ismail, pork is probably very healthy. Yeah, we've been lied to about pork too, guys. Like all this shit they want you to be scared of, literally everything, it's all a lie. It's all based on just bullshit. Wild Style, I'm starting to lose weight, loss, and mostly carnivores. KP, fast and haircut has you looking sharp. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, my hair it's actually growing out again. I don't look like I'm in prison. I need to talk to my barber, man. She makes me look like I'm in prison. It's like too short. Meep, Weston. They didn't know about the diet, but they lived it subconsciously. I always ate fish as a kid, just like my dad, and was always energetic. I also hated candy because it was sweet. Puke. Yeah, I was never a big candy guy either. Yeah, it was. It never resonated well with my stomach. Eat raw meat. Pork is very close to human DNA, right? I've heard that, but I'm not into all that DNA shit, man. That's all based on. It's too close to science to make me feel comfortable, accepting it and like preaching it. You know what I'm saying? Jonathan Vander Hout. What about broth from boiling bones and water? If you can stomach it, go for it. But since I started raw meat, I can't even drink cooked bone broth anymore. It upsets my stomach because of whatever the slow cooking I'm doing it to the broth does. It mutates the broth just enough with the heat to where it like slightly upsets my stomach and it doesn't feel natural. So I don't do bone broth anymore. I just actually eat raw bone marrow. Seems to work out. Miguel, with the very little options I have in my city, at least I get a dose of raw organic meat every day, but it's hard to do keto with mainly ghee and pasteurized cream. Yeah, that sucks, dude. You need to get off that ghee and pasteurized cream, man. And stop wasting your money on organic shit because they're going to charge you more for it, and probably all they're doing is feeding it like organic grains. You know what I mean? So it's just, you got to kind of maybe just try to find a farm and start going to a farm and buying your food. Look around. Realmilk.com is a good place to find milk. And then there's also a lot of places you can find farms around you just by doing simple internet searches. But you gotta do some work to source this food because it's competitive. When you look into sourcing food like this, you'll notice that it is highly competitive. You have people like me competing for this food, and there's like thousands of people like me that are eating like this. They're just not on YouTube. So just because I'm one of the few people on YouTube streaming this stuff, guys, don't get it twisted to think that this isn't a common way of eating. There's a lot of people that eat raw foods. There's even more so outside the United States, but the United States is like, it's weird. I think it's because of the government regulations and the lies that they've spread. But in different countries and stuff, like I get people on my channel all the time that are like, oh, I've been eating raw meat. We always eat raw meat. It's no big deal. Emma Whisk K, Patchy, I wish I could, but my state outlaws raw milk. What state are you in? Because can you get in, does your state have milk club regulations where you can like join a milk club? That's actually the way to go if it's illegal there. I mean, mine's illegal in the store, but they make it legal to buy from the farm, luckily. But some states you can't even buy from the farm. Is that one of your states? Because those people have to start like a milk club. And the way you would find a milk club is going to the Weston A. Price Foundation website and getting in contact with them, and they'll link you up with a local Weston A. Price person that will definitely help you find milk. Abraham Ismail, most Asians also tend to have a wider face, even the woman. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Billy's Corner ate 6 pork chops earlier today. Oh man, that sounds good. Weston A. Price. Pork is red meat. If your pork is white, it's garbage. It still matters view-wise. Interesting. Yeah, it does matter for sure. I took a look at it today. It looked pretty good, man. It was definitely red. Abraham Ismail, pork can be very toxic if raised unnaturally. I'm sure a lot of meat can, you know? But I think these guys know what they're doing. I'm not going to eat that much anyway, so I'll probably give like half to my dogs and half to me. Eat raw meat. When I was vegan, I almost fell from my chair when I heard that the long-living Japanese aren't vegan but eat pork all day, every day. Yep. Yeah, it's really common. It's like the most common meat in China. People love talking shit about pork. Isn't that funny? You guys notice that? People love talking shit on pork. And I think it all comes from, you guys know what it comes from? It comes from like the Bible days when they would let pigs like run through the streets and eat trash. And they knew that the pigs ate actual trash, and so they forbid you to eat the pig because it ate trash. It's the only reason that the whole religious thing doesn't let you eat pork. And I think the whole pork bashing that goes on nowadays stems from that religious law. Eat raw meat. You could say DNA is hogwash. It's total hogwash, dude. Double K. I think Tony had a point though. Those worms do absorb nutrients. You can ban me for that, but let's be honest, they need him to live as well. At least you're being polite, man. I appreciate that. So you have to study up on autogenous wonderplanets before you watch this, because you're not going to understand anything, man. Like bacteria and parasites and viruses, they all work totally different than what you've been taught. Bacteria and parasites work symbiotically in your body. They're produced by your body. They're not given to you externally. And viruses are also produced individually by your cells. They're not they're not transmuted from person to person. I know you probably think I don't know what I'm talking about, and you think that's total bullshit, but it's the truth, man. And if you want to know the truth, study Ozrin's Thunder Planets, look up viruses. He'll tell you the truth on it. He's one of the few people in the world teaching the truth about viruses. So if you understand how viruses work, then you're going to understand a lot better how parasites and bacteria work, because viruses are like the more heavy-duty recruits that the body recruits to clean out toxins. When you have a toxin enter your body, it recruits bacteria. If the bacteria is not strong enough to remove the toxin, like let's say it was a chemical, it actually kills the bacteria. So then your body produces viruses to remove the toxin from your cells before it damages your DNA. So when you're talking about worms and viruses and bacteria and all that stuff that you've been totally brainwashed into fearing, because we're apex predators, why the hell would you be scared of a worm? It's like really preposterous, dude. So you got to understand that the only reason you would have a worm in you is if you had an overabundance of dead tissue from some sort of injury that your body did not know how to get rid of. So it's not something that like you eat a steak and you get a worm and it's stuck in you forever. It's just medicine has you just totally brainwashed, dude. Grim Speaker, fructose in excess in a diet like carnivore, which is high sodium, will increase uric acid. In a standard diet, excess sugars converts to fructose. I don't know what you're talking about. Hero Damon, cooking enlarges proteins, hence it's hard to digest the broth. Also, the heat turns it necrotic, aka dead, which is why cooked broth messes you up with that dry diarrhea. Yeah, I was even slow cooking it, and it made my broth not too good. Martin O'Donnell, add an onion to your pot and pressure cook your bones for 1 to 2 hours max. The onion will help with digestion. I'll give it a shot. Next time I get a beef quarter and I get a bunch of bones, I'll try just to do. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It still seems pressure cooking. It seems like it's going to get a little bit too high of a temperature that I'm comfortable with. You know, I was trying to slow cook it to keep it under like 100 degrees, but I checked my slow cooker and it was like 200 some degrees someday. So slow cookers don't exactly. It's not a low cooker. It's a slow cooker. System of a Fox. I was born in Mexico. My grandma's Lebanese and my grandpa owned hundreds of acres of land in Mexico. Always had access to raw milk, raw cheese, and lots of eggs and meat. You're lucky. You're very blessed. In Mawiske, Louisiana. You're in Louisiana? Alright, let's check out. I'll check out realmilk.com for you and see what Louisiana says. The Real Milk Finder. Louisiana. Status of Louisiana-based raw milk. There are no raw milk listings in Louisiana. Holy shit. Yeah, you guys are really getting robbed. There are no raw milk listings for Louisiana farms at this time. The government has been harassing the only farmers who were attempting to manage a cow share, and so their listing has been removed for now. Ah, dude. According to the regulatory agencies in Louisiana, cow shares are illegal. However, cow shares are a contract known as an adjustment, whereby one person is contracted to care for the livestock owned by another person. All right, what you're going to have to... This is crazy. This arrangement may be more familiar to you as owning a share in a bull or a racehorse. Adjustments have a long history of legal precedent dating back to English common law. Louisiana residents should be outraged by this infringement of their rights and should take several steps. Join the Weston A. Price Foundation. Become active in the local Louisiana chapters. As a foundation member, you can elect to receive emailed action alerts that let you know what you can do to protect your rights to obtain and consume farm foods. Join the Farm to Consumer Legal Defense Fund. The fund represents farmers who provide nutrient-dense foods, blah, blah. Yeah, that sucks, man. So, if you're in Louisiana, I would join the Weston A. Price Foundation and see if they know some farmers. Like, you're going to have to do this like a drug deal, for sure. If you're in Louisiana and you want to get milk, you're going to have to do it like finding a drug dealer. So, get a hold of the Weston A. Price Foundation. They'll link you up with some people. And then also, man, I don't know how you're going to get a hold of farmers, though. Like, you just basically have to try to get a hold of some farms. Try to Google search some local farms in your area and just call them and email everybody and just say, hey, I want some raw milk, or just I want some milk. Do you know how I can get some milk? And they might be nice enough to let you come over and get some. Or I want to get involved in a herd share. I don't know. You got to at least try though. You know what I'm saying? You can also order it from Miller's Organic Farm. If you got a little extra money and you want to pay for the shipping, you can order raw milk and they'll ship it straight to your house. Wild style. I'm picking up a free pig. Last 3 years I gave it away because I was a vegan. Biggest regret of my life, I bet. What are you gonna do with the whole pig? Are you gonna like freeze half of it and do half of it fresh? Double K, gotta go everyone. Thank everyone. God bless. See you later. Double K, pork is outlawed in the Bible. Yeah, I don't follow the Bible. I'm not all about that. I just worship God. Wild style. My native ancestors ate raw meat. Some of my native relatives still do. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, if that was like your parents and your grandparents, then you probably got some good genetics from them because of that. Wizard of Raw. Peace out, guys. Much love. See you later, man. KP. People say it's because Jesus cast out demons into a herd of swine. I've heard it said that pork is religiously banished because it kickstarts your brain. Organized religion frowns upon. No, yeah, frowns upon yourself. No, it's because the pigs ate trash. These things are very. You got to look at the most logical explanation first. And that's the most logical one, you know? Wild style. I have a very round face. You're lucky. Emma Whiskey. 6 egg yolks, 1 can of cod liver, and a can of sardines is my breakfast. That sounds good, man. Are you scared of egg whites or what? Eat raw meat. It's very funny that Muslims are so afraid of pork. I once read that a dude threw a dead pig on a construction site where the Muslims wanted to build a mosque. They didn't build it in the end. That's funny. Yeah, it's to be scared of stuff like that is so stupid, man. I mean, the stuff you should be scared of in life is like rattlesnakes and shit. You know what I mean? Sharks, rattlesnakes. Like, beyond that, like, God really didn't create any more pitfalls than that. Wild style identifies as a Lego, everybody. So do not misgender wild style. KP, yes, it was, but even though Jesus declared all food clean, people still use it as a reason. Maxwell Hanker, RIP to the legend Ogenus. You know how he died? His deck collapsed. Very sus. Absolutely suspect. It's also very possible that his deck was just a piece of shit because he was in like Thailand or something. You know what I mean? So I'm still. We'll never know what happened, man. We'll never know. None of us were there. We'll never know. But you would think that if he knew he was sabotaged, he would have like said something at the hospital or some shit because he was still like conscious. You know, he was conscious enough to tell them not to do surgery. If he knew that he was sabotaged, I think he would have like emailed somebody or told somebody. But I've heard people say that he didn't get murdered. He definitely just legit died. Abraham Ismail, the body always tries its best to keep itself alive. Always. Don't see diseases as an attack. See it as a malfunction. Yeah, it's a detoxification. It's a detoxification caused by a malfunction. Wild Style, I want to get his book. If you want to email me, I can give you a PDF copy if you can't afford the hard copy. Snow Ass, hi, have you ever had camel milk? No, I've had buffalo colostrum and goat milk and cow milk and human milk from my mommy, but that's about it. Emma Whisk, it's really expensive to ship too. Yeah, Miller's Organic Farm, you're looking about $40 minimum shipping if you're about 3-4 states away. Mr. Scal, Severia thinks camel milk is better than cow milk. I bet it is. Buffalo colostrum is good. Giraffe milk, yeah. There's sheep milk too. You know how much milk there is? It's nuts. Eat raw meat. There's a dude here that sells horse milk for absurd prices, but it's supposed to be better than cow milk. Horse? I didn't. Dude, every animal's got milk. It's crazy. Well, I guess all the mammals do. Duh. Bam. Does A1, A2 still apply? I think for at least 95% of people, no. It's just, it doesn't, it's not supposed to be pasteurized. That's the whole thing. All this misinformation about A1 and A2 to get you scared of natural milk is all because of a man-made thing called pasteurization. Horse milk. Yeah, is there even such thing as horse milk? Are you kidding me? Abraham Ismail, I wonder how did Native Americans get their fat intake if most animals in North America are lean, at least on the east? Did Native Americans use milk? I don't know. Honestly, Native Americans is it's the next chapter that I'm reading on nutrition and physical degeneration. So you caught me like a couple days early. Maybe I'll let you know that next time. Horse milk just doesn't sound good. It doesn't. Squid ink? No, I never had squid ink. I might get some raw octopus. I might eat some raw octopus on stream though. I could have, I just never bought it. KP, have you noticed a difference with A1 versus A2? Guernsey milk is just slightly better tasting, I think. But to be honest with you, not a huge diff. A2 is noticeably more yellow. So you probably got more beta carotene in there. But we'll see. I might give up my share of Guernsey milk because I'm tired of driving 2 hours, man. I don't think I can swing that anymore. I honestly think that people driving 2 hours to buy raw A2 milk, driving past A1 milk farms, are brainwashed. Yeah, sarcasm doesn't translate very well over the internet, so like if you're making a sarcastic joke, nobody's gonna get it over text because it's missing so much nuance. Hero Deman, donkey cheese from Serbia is actually the most expensive cheese in the world at $10,000 a pound. Whoa. Wild Style, can you look for a raw milk listing in New Zealand, please? I think this is just for America. Yeah, it's just got the States and America. There's no New Zealand. Donkey cheese. That's funny. P. Miller, how's it going? Hey, how you doing? I'm a whisk. Egg white, fear because of the taste. Eggs white, fear because of the taste. I think you're scared for nothing, man. That whole egg white versus egg yolk thing, guys, you got to see through all of the bullshit, man. This is all like, it's bullshit from the government, and it's also bullshit from like vegans and stuff, trying to smear up the truth and make you scared of animal products. They tell you red meat gives you freaking cancer and heart disease. They tell you raw milk will poison you and kill your kid. They tell you raw honey will give your kid botulism. They tell you raw eggs will give you salmonella. Dude, don't buy any of that shit. They're trying to get you to stop eating raw animal foods, the only things that will properly heal your body, so you become weakened and they can take advantage of you and they can manipulate you because you're underneath their fear. You're underneath their spell. When you're scared of something, you're underneath their spell. Spells are real, guys. Spells are given out by words and sentences and ideas. Why do you think the word spell is in spelling? You got to look into this shit a little bit deeper, guys. This stuff has been going on for millennia. There's nothing new under the sun. They just want you to be freaked out all the time so they can control you and make you a slave. A1 versus A2. Yeah, there's different kinds of milk out there, and they want you to be scared of the A1 milk. But really, what you should be scared of is pasteurization, because that's what makes A1 milk dangerous. A1 pasteurized store milk is the worst thing that you could ever eat. When I tell people in 2 years of studying raw foods and 15 years studying nutrition and health, the two main things that I could tell you, chill out, buddy. The two main things I could tell you to drastically alter your health is never drink pasteurized milk ever again and never get a vaccine ever again. Those are the two main things you can do without ever changing your diet, really, to prevent disease. Abrahamism, most things religions ban is to avoid thinking for yourself and keeping a uniform way of thinking. There is some of that going on. Raw Paleo Tyler, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Tomorrow we're receiving camel milk, water, buffalo cream, butter, sheep milk cream, and 15 pounds of beef fat. Right on, man. Is that from Miller's? Spectre Bond, your position on dairy isn't optimal. Ancestrally speaking, animal domestication for dairy is less than 1% of total existence. Not practical for a human to lay under a ruminant and suck it. Animal is less than 1%. I don't believe that. Yeah, I don't believe that theory, man. I appreciate you presenting that argument politely, but I disagree with you. Maven Taylor, I see no proof of what you're saying there, and I see no proof that dairy's bad for you. So, Maven Taylor, I stayed on a farm in India. They had buffalo milk. It was so creamy. Yeah. I feel a lot better on Jersey milk than Texas milk cows, which are A1. Interesting. I feel good on Guernsey, man, but I don't know if I feel that. Damn, now you guys got me reconsidering it. We'll see how I feel, man, but driving 2 hours to get milk, dude, after you've been working all day is, I don't think so, dude. I'll have to work all day and then eat dinner and then go drive 2 hours to get milk. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do that. I want some rat milk right now, Raw Meat says. Sounds good. I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to refill my my milk. In a whisk, seals and whales probably have the most nutrient-dense meat. I want to try some of that, definitely. Yeah, I think that's what Weston Price said in his book. I think he said no, he said salmon eggs were the most nutrient-dense thing that he measured in the whole world. But he said the Eskimos would dip their fish in seal oil. Sam Will, hey, this is a late night stream. You gotcha. Yes, sir. Eat raw meat 2 hours one way. No, it's 1 hour one way. It's actually 50 minutes. So we'll see, man. We'll see. I might do it. Jason Smith, I heard as Jesus Christ, are you a 10-foot tall alien? Clearly not. Clearly not, Jesus. Boxing fan, are human organs and blood more nutritious than the animal? Slightly. I mean, it depends on what you're talking about. Like the liver is like super vitamin A. Maxwell Hanker, what is that milk search again? Here, I'll link it for y'all. Here, I'm gonna hook you guys up. Where's that eat wild? That's what I want. Chill, buddy. I'll be there. I'll be done in just a bit, buddy. All right, here's eat wild. And here's Miller's Farm. Here's my email if you want a copy of We Want to Live. Caleb Huang, are blood tests and physicals necessary? I don't think so. I think every time you walk into a doctor's office or a hospital, you're preparing yourself to be sacrificed. Snow ass, aren't you only allowed to get a blood test like every 3 months because it fatigues your body a lot or something? That doesn't sound good. Dude, you're never supposed to stick a needle in your body ever. Let me repeat that. You're never supposed to stick a needle in your body ever. No matter what. Not vaccines, not blood draws, not antibiotics, not drugs. Nothing, man. Needles are man-made. They're not made by God. It's not natural. You're never supposed to have that enter your skin. So don't ever stick a needle in your body with anything in it, ever. And don't let them stick one in to pull your blood out either. Because they're just going to prescribe you a bunch of drugs and just mess you up, man. Wild Style, can I find raw milk in New Zealand? You're going to have to search it up. I'm not really familiar with that area, but I guarantee you can. Snow asks, because I was going to start a keto diet soon, and I was going to try to figure out where I can get all my fat. From now on, I can get it from milk if I just let it sit. Yeah, just make sure you got a lot of cream in there. You want some nice creamy milk. You can get some fat from cheese and butter too. Spectre Bond, Patchy, 10,000 years out of millions of years of human evolution. If you believe in evolution, Spectre Bond, you got a lot of stuff to learn, man. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but yeah, I think you're getting too deep into science, and you might be reading too much. This is like Spectre Bond. This isn't like an intellectual diet. This isn't something that you're gonna find like studies and science books and evolution books and stuff like that to explain what you should be eating. This stuff is something that you just have to go out and try for yourself. You have to go buy the foods, eat them like I've been doing, and then report back to people how you feel, And the fact of the matter is that I feel ridiculously healthy on raw cheese and raw milk and stuff like that, and especially raw butter. So everything that you personally experience will contradict what you've been brainwashed to think about, this. We're not meant to eat modern dairy, blah, blah, blah. No, we're the only animals that drink another animal's milk, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, we're the only animals that were savage enough to take another animal in captivity and make it provide milk for us. You know what I mean? I think you're getting kind of hung up on the whatever you read about milk only being around for 10,000 years or whatever, which is still a long time. It could be vegan brainwashing, I would ask you, what's your source, Spectre Bond? What is your source for that information? And I could probably punch like 1,000 holes into it. Abraham Ismail, I think I can get why ruminants are considered the only clean animals. It's because of saturated fat to polyunsaturated fat ratio. The less polyunsaturated fat, the better. Ruminants have the least. Interesting. Excuse me. Caleb Huang, I've tried both raw and A1, A2. Raw A1 is harder to digest, wider, and less fat. It is, but I don't know. I don't know about harder to digest, but definitely wider and less fat, maybe. Maybe Taylor, I only eat hummingbird eggs. That's funny. Wild style, they're using spells and black magic against us. Absolutely. And fear. The number one thing is fear, guys. If you're scared of anything, you lose. The only thing you should be scared of is God, because He's the only person that can take your life and bring you life. Everything else is the devil, just getting you scared for nothing. Hero Diamond, so I tried frog legs cooked. Has anyone tried them raw? I haven't. I bought some one time and I never ate them. Didn't look that good. Sam, will anyone experience constipation on raw milk and cheese or no eggs? Yeah, definitely cheese. Cheese will constipate the hell out of you. Eat more butter. Eat your cheese with butter and it'll stop the constipation. Beyond me, I drank raw A1 milk the first 15 years of my life, never had any problems. Yeah, you and like 99% of people that drink raw A1 milk. I did a poll of my subscribers, and out of like over 100 people, less than 30% said they couldn't, or said they had slight problems with raw A1 milk. So it's less than 1/3, and those people could have just had extremely like leaky guts. They could have been ex-vegans that can't tolerate anything. It's possible to completely ruin your gut, dude, and the only thing that you can tolerate is raw eggs. So I'm guessing that out of that poll I did, where over 70% of people were fine on raw A1 milk, the 30% that weren't, I'm guessing that possibly at least 20, if not all of them, 30% of them, it was just because they had just destroyed their own guts. So it's like, just because you destroyed your gut on whatever diet you were on beforehand doesn't necessarily mean that raw A1 milk is bad for human beings. You know what I mean? But I think that's just a big part of it. There may be some unknown factors I'm not aware of yet. I'm not going to act like I'm the milk wizard or anything, but I've done polls. I've been drinking this stuff myself. I've been talking to people. I've talked to hundreds and thousands of people online about milk, man. And like, I've just come to the conclusion that it seems like the people that says they can't tolerate it are, I don't know, maybe just have worse guts. You know what I mean? And it's not really necessarily the milk, but it's them, like an individual problem. Kai Stalas, human babies drink breast milk until about 2 years. Think of drinking animal dairy as a continuation of consuming that superfood. Yeah, and like the thing is guys, I did like a survey also about if any who all was breastfed of my subscribers, and it was like, I'd have to take another look at it, man, but it wasn't that many at all. So a bunch of people aren't even breastfed. So if you're breastfed, don't you think you should be drinking milk as an adult to make up for some of that damage? Like, why not? Steve Sims, my local beef farmer might be able to get lung, spleen, adrenal gland, and sweetbreads. They said $4 a pound. If their butcher will get it, I'm excited. Dude, that sounds like a good score. That's all it takes, guys. Talk to a couple of your farmers. They'll hook you up. Eat raw meats. I would go for the A1 milk. I think I am. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell my Guernsey farmer that I'm going to take like a month off because of my work schedule, and I'll be back in another month, if she's cool with that. Jim Adler, you can tell the eggs are CGI. These eggs? Yeah, they're fake. These are fake eggs, guys. Jason Smith, yeah, 2 hours is such a long drive. I'm drinking A1 because the only A2 I can get is a little over 2 hours away. But when I switch to A1, I noticed I can't drink nearly as much as I can of the A2. Interesting. Yeah, 2 hours is dumb. I mean, it's only 1 hour each way for me, but it ends up being like two hours and 15 minutes. I got to stay there for a while too. Tox Tube. Is it still okay to drink raw milk if it's flash chilled? I think so. You should be fine. As long as it's not heated. Jesus Christ. Mr. Weston, can you confess Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? I do. I follow the teachings of Jesus Christ. That's how I like to say it. Yeah, Jesus was a good dude. What he taught was very, very effective at bringing peace to your life. Hero Diamond, I saw a Vietnamese movie where they were eating a lizard. Wild Style, email for the PDF book. Thank you, no problem. P. Miller, I got beef brains and some fresh grass-fed veal. That sounds good. What's your weekly meat to seafood ratio? Pretty bad, dude. Like, lately, it's been 1 pound to like 1 to 15 fish to meat, fish to beef. Maxwell Hanker, you don't believe in evolution. Evolution's a hoax, bro. Evolution is a total hoax. They want you to think you came from monkeys. It's fucking bullshit, dude. It's the biggest bullshit I've ever heard in my life. So I'll explain it to you very simply, man. And maybe you'll get it, maybe you won't. They want to make you think just because you resemble an ape or a monkey, that you came from the monkey. That's not true, man. The only reason you look like them is because you were created by the same thing. So the same thing created all of us, created monkeys, created apes, created humans, blah, blah. That's why we look the same. There's no evidence that we came from that. You know what I'm saying? It's all from godless science, godless scientists, etc., etc. And I'm not like a religious freak or anything, dude. I just like woke up to God in the last couple years of my life. But it was pretty simultaneous that I stopped believing in evolution, because it's another red pill, man. It's just something you got to look into and maybe just think for yourself. It's almost like an intuition. It makes more logical sense that we just resemble apes because we were created by the same thing. So we're going to have similar characteristics rather than apes turned into humans. They're trying to equivalate, Maxwell, they're trying to equivalate humans with animals. This is the number one thing that Satanists try to do. This is a satanic belief, dude. They want you to be on the same level as animals. Satanists do. So they can justify rape, murder, child molestation, all this shit that animals do. They say, well, animals do it, why can't humans do it? It's a big mess, dude. And it all has to do with people pushing Satanism, people taking God out of science, God out of the whole picture, and trying to replace everything with just your meaningless stardust. You're meaningless stardust. You came from monkeys. There's no God. There's no meaning to this. It's horseshit, dude. Caleb Huang, Natural Human Diet. Do you believe Jesus is returning soon? Honestly, man, I don't even know what that means, and I'm not trying to be rude or anything like that. I've read the gospel like 3-4 times, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I've read Revelations a couple times. I've read all of Psalms. I've read part of Proverbs. I've read all of Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus. Like, I have no idea what that means, dude. I don't know what it means. That's why I don't really get into the Bible, dude, because it's like, really confusing shit. Cole Slice, I don't know. I work in EMS and I've saved lives with needles, not vaccines and such, though. Yeah, I'm sure you've saved some lives, like maybe drug overdoses or, whatever. But I don't think you saved their life as much as you did just prevent death. You know what I'm saying? Or prolonged their life a little bit. But they're still going to die from whatever that they did to bring themselves into your EMS. So it's not like whatever you did with that needle is going to magically make them change their life and change what they were doing in their life to prevent them from going to the hospital again. Eat raw meat. Charles Darwin was a gamma. Yeah, Charles Darwin was a gamma, and if I remember right, or no, it was Nietzsche that lost a child. Some of these people have like stuff happen in their life, and then it makes them produce all of this like horseshit science. Wild style. Everyone is mostly plant based, even the meat eaters. Whole plate full of veggie salads, only tiny bits of meat. Yeah, it's brainwashed, man. Steve Smith. Explain the specific health risks, Tiana. Oh, yeah. Oh, damn, trolls flooding in. Yep. And they'll get kicked out as fast as they come in. Lots of gamma tonight. Well, this is like a new time I'm streaming, guys, so they're probably not too familiar with the band hammer. We got a couple pretty hefty band hammers around here, guys, so careful what you type in chat. If you're bold enough to type it out there, go for it, but you may get banned. I'm trying to make this, a place where everybody can come talk, blah, 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 et cetera, but there's people that come in that they're just not quite ready for all this shit, you know what I'm saying? They ain't quite ready. Too brainwashed. It's too traumatizing. And it's understandable, guys. You just can't be pushing fear. If you're gonna push fear and despair in my chat, you'll get banned immediately, because that's what I'm here to do. Is I'm here to battle fear. I'm here to try to help you drop your fears and become fearless, and understand that you're being brainwashed to be scared. If you don't understand that, then I can't help you. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm here to do. Wild style. The nurse holds me down to find vein to draw blood. I'm terrified. Eat raw meat. What do you think about eating insects? I ate a dragonfly one time. It tasted like mushrooms. I swear to God. A dead dragonfly. I pulled it off of someone's. It was like the grill of their car, and someone paid me $10 to eat it, and it tastes just like mushrooms. I think but as far as eating insects for like health or whatever like that, that's total vegan shit. They want you to drink your pee and eat insects and all this stuff. We are apex predators, guys. We don't have to eat bugs. Eric, I perked up when I heard you saying you may stop getting your local milk share. Haha, I go to the same place. Oh, Eric, 2 gallons every 2 weeks. I tried for 3 last time and was denied. It's all spoken for. That's funny. Yeah, dude, I'm on the fence, man. I'm on the fence. So you can maybe check. It's a possibility I'm going to stop going there. But 2 hours on a Monday night, dude. I got too many other nutrient dense foods right now that it's just like I don't need the Guernsey milk to stay alive per se. And my time is really more important right now. Maxwell Hanker, and how old is Earth? Dude, I have no idea. I'm not sure how I'd even know that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knows. Orbit 23, milk is a result of agriculture's sedentary civilization. 10,000 years ago, approximately, humans were nomadic. Before that, hunted animals, but no animal husbandry. Maybe. Can you prove that, though? Or did you just regurgitate that from a science book? Not a big fan of science. Or modern education. Yo, AR, can I be diet-ified as Milk Wizard? That's funny. You should change your name to Milk Wizard. Wild style. If you understand how black magic works, you can see how they're using it everywhere. Absolutely. Martin O'Donnell. Only raw cheeses I've tried were Parmigiano. Here we go. Where are you at? Regano and Gruyere, but I didn't like them. What raw cheese do you guys like? I need recommendations. Goat feta. Goat feta cheese, dude. You will love that shit. Animal mother. How many pounds a month is a healthy rate to gain weight? Yeah, only your body knows. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would say 10, 15, Go a pound every couple days, a pound every few days. That's not bad. Wild style, Jeremy R. I studied the occult for power. Knowledge is power. No, it's not, dude. Knowledge is not power. Well, knowledge can be useful as a tool, but knowledge is not power, man, at all. Too much knowledge is poison. Too much knowledge poisons the soul. Because we're spirits. We're not brains, guys. You're not your brain. You are a spirit. You gotta forget all this like education, intellectual nonsense that the world wants you to obsess over, because it's all based on ego. All this intellectual hogwash is ego, man. You're talking to a former reformed intellectual. I've been through all this shit, you know? I've been through all the education you have. I've been through, you know, over a year of college, so I know what college is like too, and it's just, dude, it's all a scam, man. Jeremy R. Learn the ways. Martin O'Donnell. It's acquired taste. Maybe like raw meat. Those are the two most widely available. Jeremy R. You are not a monkey. Exactly. Eat raw meat. Only applied knowledge is power. Yeah, knowledge is power is a bit. That's way too broad, man. Because, like, people take it too far. Let's put it that way. Meteor Man. According to, like, think about like autistic people, right? They're like, I've memorized, you know, every single type of computer chip that exists in the world, and I've memorized all the circuits on it, and it's like, wow, it's amazing. But like, they can't even like, they like crap their pants, and they can't talk. You know what I mean? So it's like this. I'm not making fun of autistic people. I'm just saying, there's people out there like that. That maybe not so bad like that, but there's people out there like that they take so much pride in their knowledge, but they can't even like, you know, they don't even like have their intuition dialed in correctly, or their diet's not correct. You know, it's like you don't even know how to eat the correct type of foods, but you know all this shit about science. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what is more applicable? Like Eat Raw Meat said, how can you apply that science knowledge in a way that it benefits your life? Whereas you could just learn about raw foods and stuff like that, and that's going to like directly impact your health, your mental health, your physical health, and stuff like that. More so than anything you could read from a science book, man. Meteor Man, according to Google, Earth is 4.5 billion years old, and life started 3.4 to 4.8 years ago. Still not enough time to evolve from a single cell. Yeah, it's true. Google says, exactly. Google, the big liar in the sky. Bam, just like the placenta looking like the roots of a tree, creation shows within the human body and nature. Orbit 23, we didn't come from monkeys, it's just that they and us have a common ancestor. That's still not enough proof just because you said that. I think you guys are all just like regurgitating stuff. Like, did you go out and dig up monkey bones? Like, do you have monkey bones at your house? And are you measuring monkey bones? Are you cracking them open, looking at their marrow? You're just regurgitating all this shit from a science book. No disrespect, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just telling you, I know where you're getting your information from. I've read all of these same sources, and I don't trust them, dude. So if you want to trust them, that's fine. But I mean, I think that's a really short-sighted, dude, considering the corruption that's involved in science. It's ridiculous. Bam, like the skull is a dome, and if you'd believe there is one above us. The only way to know orbit, the only way you can know something for yourself is to do it yourself. Right? That's why I started reading all these books. Like, I got all these books here that I'm reading about science and nutrition, because I stopped trusting other people. I stopped trusting Ozgens Thunder Planets. I stopped trusting all of these like authorities, you know? And you got to do that same thing with science authorities, because they're doing the same thing to you. They're just they're missing a lot, man, you know? Science doesn't even consider the concept of God. Like, that's so ridiculous, dude. That there's not something like that created all of this. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Abraham says the Earth is not much older than 2,000 years. Interesting. Those eggs are AI bots. Yeah. Eat raw meat. As a kid, I never believed that we came from monkeys, because I saw monkeys in the zoo and I thought, why aren't they evolved? Why do monkeys still exist? Exactly. Here, let me ask you this, guys. This is something that Vox Day taught me. I will believe in evolution, okay? I will believe it if you can tell me what is the rate of change of evolution within an animal. Most people don't even know what that question means, so let alone be able to answer it. But it's a valid question. If you are an authority on evolution, tell me, what is the rate of change of evolution in an animal? If you can't measure the rate of change in an evolution of animal, then you don't have any data to base evolution on. Bam, Joaquin Phoenix thinks he's just like a bird. Yeah, what a weirdo. I can't believe I even paid money to watch that Joker movie, dude. That was like, just, it was like traumatizing. And then seeing him do all this like vegan shit. Abraham Ismail, and the people that did occupy those lands, only a few Moraine, barely any live there. Maxwell Hanker, do you believe in Christianity over another religion? Man, I'm still really new to God, to be honest with you. Well, he's been with me my whole life, but I've really just established a recent connection with him. And I agree with a lot of the tenets of Christianity, and I do follow all of the morals that are presented, as such. But I'll be straight up honest, I have a hard time believing everything in the Bible. Let's just leave it at that. But to further answer your question, Maxwell, I do believe that Islam and Christianity and all the other religions are worshiping the same God. And all the confusion comes from man-made stuff. I think I have to let my dog out, guys. No, go outside, bud. Eat raw meat. The only human that came from monkeys is Trank Fufano. You're funny, man. You would find a way to slip that in. That's hilarious. Guys, the name Frank Tufano is banned from my chat. You can't even type it in. Wild Style. You do not have to be a Christian or go to church to believe in the power of Jesus. He is a universal saint and your body is your temple. I agree. But I've seen some very, very interesting videos that show that like the story of Jesus has been duplicated like 1,000 times over history. So I'm a little sketched out. I'm a little bit suspicious of what's been told to us about Jesus in the Bible. Let's just put it that way. And I'm not afraid to say it because I'm not afraid of anything but God. The Bible isn't God. The stories in the Bible are not God. So you have every right in the world to question it, even though you have a direct connection with God. Because the Bible is a material object, guys. It's material, right? God isn't material. You can have a total connection with God and and question whatever you want in the Bible because it was written by man. And when you understand how everything that man touches gets corrupted, you have every right in the world to be suspicious of it. It's like a 2,000-year-old book that's been rewritten and retranslated, and they got words messed up and all sorts of shit, man. Jeremy R. LOL, I imagine a little kid totally obliterating their science. Yeah. Sorry, kiddos. Science is a scam. Spirit Level Studios, it's 12:15 midday in Melbourne, Australia. Wow, that's a good time. So I might get some more Australians on the chat. Right on. Right on, mate. Hero Damon, I'm an ex-Muslim from Kosovo where a guy just got shot for converting to Christianity. I understand that Jesus is actually Minoan from Crete, and that the Romans say it came from Jerusalem, Byzantine. Yeah. Dude, I watched a video. Can't remember who sent it to me. And, yeah, it's pretty interesting, man. Animal Mother, have you done any hot baths? And if you have, what results have you gotten? They feel pretty good, but I don't really go over like 30 minutes, and it's not that hot. Because I'm too big for my bathtub. It's just stupid, dude. Like half of my body is laying out the tub. Like, why do they make bathtubs so small? It's so dumb, dude. Wild style. Jesus is in your heart. Um, I believe God is in my heart. Like, and I'm not trying to just argue, but I'm not really quite there yet with the whole Jesus is my savior in my heart and all that stuff. Like, I believe it's God. I'm not really sure about the dude that was they were writing in the Bible. I'm just not 100% on that because I'm just not. Not that he didn't exist or anything like that, but I don't understand how that guy would be in my heart. You know what I mean? Because he was a human being. I don't believe Jesus was God, guys. Wild style. You either have an open heart to Jesus or you don't, but he's in the heart. I replace what you say with Jesus with God. So maybe we're talking about the same thing. Hero Damon, I had a friend who used to eat flies to freak out girls in middle school, for sure. I would do stuff like that, eat worms. I ate a spider one time. I'm not scared. Caleb Huang, I swear college professors are masons and warlocks that conspire together to brainwash the youth. For sure. They're the worst, dude. College professors are the worst. Let's see. Casey Allen Shoby. Hi, Weston. I'm curious to hear your perspectives on consuming blood versus the Bible telling us not to. No judgment from me, just curious about your thought process. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've drank blood, and I'm not a Satanist or anything like that. So it didn't make me a Satanist. I'm not a Satanist before I drank the blood. So it's not like anything magical happened to me after I drank it. I think it's all just fear-mongering, again. But I think the reason it was in the Bible probably is I don't think they wanted you to consume like blood from a live animal. So I think they were trying to battle like sacrifices and satanic sacrifices and stuff. Because there was probably satanic groups back then even, and they drank blood and stuff. So I think it probably had something to do with that. But it doesn't make like logical sense that you could eat every part of the animal but the blood. Because I've eaten every part of the animal. Jason Smith, I ate some live grubs out of a tree I was cutting up. They were actually delicious. Gave me a big boost of energy for how tiny they were. Maybe they had some nutrients you can't get elsewhere. Yeah, grubs are probably, they're probably packed with nutrients, dude. Maxwell Hanker, I don't want to get banned. I respect your position on religion, but I've been watching for about a year and I never knew you were a believer. Oh, yeah, man. Right on. No, dude, I won't ban you. I mean, you seem like a reasonable guy. I only ban like a gamma trolls, dude. You don't seem like a gamma at all. Like gammas are like very clear. They like they're pretty obvious when they pop up, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, dude, I had some pretty amazing experiences with God in the last few years of my life, and I felt like He's really intervened somehow to like completely change who I am. Because like I'm a completely different person than I was like 5 years ago, dude. Like you guys wouldn't even recognize me. So something happened, and I don't think it was me that did it, but something happened to me where I had this like radical transformation, and it brought me to raw meat. It brought me to God. Like I ended up like forgiving everybody that's ever done anything bad to me and all of this stuff. And I feel like I did none of it. I really do, man. I'm not just saying that. I don't know how this happened. And it just really opened up my eyes to the fact that there's, I believe, something else in control of this. And then once I realized that we have no free will, it all just kind of clicked, man. It all really clicked. And I saw all of the blessings that God's been bringing me. Like, I never felt like blessed or happy about my life until all this stuff happened. So it's really hard to explain, but yeah, I'm definitely a believer in God, man. Totally not expected to believe in a system like man-made religion. I feel like that totally goes against your general position of being anti-system or whatever you want to call oppression. There's a lot of people that believe that just because I believe in God, I believe in a religion. That's actually a couple different things, man. And if you don't believe in God, then you'll have no idea what I'm talking about. But I believe in God. I believe God has written the truth in your heart. I believe God represents order. God represents logos. God represents love. Love is order. Love is logos. Logos is the opposite of chaos. So God represents order. God represents the opposite of chaos. Satan represents chaos. I believe in good and evil. I believe good represents order. I believe evil represents chaos. And I believe God, God is order. God is love. Love is order. Love is not an emotion. Love is order. So when you start to get those concepts down, you start to understand kind of what God represents. I'm not talking about a bearded dude in the sky. I'm talking about a law that's written in your hearts, and it's written throughout the universe. So, yeah, like I said earlier, man, I'm not a big fan of man-made religions. I'm starting to think it's probably best not to get too mixed up in all that. Caleb Hoang in the OT Jaw explained one should not consume blood because the blood contains a life force, and all life belongs to God. Huh. It's interesting. I mean, there's not too many situations where you can drink blood anyways, So, wild style. Jesus has the most loving eyes I've ever seen and glowing unconditional love for those who are open to receive. How do you know what his eyes look like, though? Deuteronomy 12:23, huh? Is that what they say about blood? Jesus is the truth. Yeah, exactly. I say God is the truth. You guys say Jesus is the truth. And I don't want to make a separation between God and Jesus for people that believe that. If you want to believe that, it's fine. But whatever. It's majorly debatable, guys. But really, what only matters, it doesn't matter like what you tell me and what I tell you. It matters about your personal relationship with God, and that's it. It doesn't matter what I tell you and what you tell me, and what you read and what I read. It's all about that personal connection. That's it. That's true. Knowledge is not power, but it can be useful at times. Yeah, so knowledge is poison when you get too much of it. You want basically enough knowledge to build a home for yourself, build a home for your family, and raise a family. You don't need any more knowledge outside of that. Why would you need overabundance of knowledge? Just learn whatever you need to learn in order to build a home for yourself so you can live in it and raise a family. Because that's what God wants you to do. Because creating children is the closest thing to God, because you're involved in creation. Martin O'Donnell, he saved us from sin. Put your faith in Christ, because Satan and the evils of the world will destroy you. It's true, man. Yeah, and I guess if you guys say Jesus and Christ, I think Jesus in Christ represents order, represents love, represents logos, In a symbolic way, I totally agree. Caleb Hoang, we're no longer in the Old Testament, so I think all dietary laws are abolished. I'm with you on that. Wild style, I'm not a dude, for the record. Okay. Abraham Ismail, honestly, even though cooked food is unhealthy, people who eat whatever they want and don't understand or care what happens to them are probably very healthy. Yeah, it could be. Honestly, I wonder if your spiritual health has more to do with your physical health than you think. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people that are spiritually healthy and they just go out and pig out on food all the time and they're healthy. Isn't that interesting? Get your spirit right, guys. That's the way to do it. Maxwell Hanker, when you say we are regurgitating from a science book, do you see how you are doing the same when you believe in a creator or the concept of God? You have no proof either. No, I'm not at all, dude. I had a personal encounter with God. It has nothing to do with a book or anything like that. So I'm not quoting you stuff from the Bible and stuff like that. I'm doing the total opposite. I'm telling you to formulate a connection with God. So you obviously don't have a connection with God because you don't know what I'm talking about, and that's fine, man. That's cool. I went over 30 years not understanding it. It's a very abstract concept for some people. So that's all I can really say to you, man, is that it's almost like the best way I can explain God, the best way I've ever been able to explain it is this. It's like a sense that you never had, and then all of a sudden it just turns on, dude. And you all of a sudden realize that God is everywhere. So to most people, that makes absolutely no sense. But I promise you, dude, this is the truth. If you don't believe in God, you are lacking a sense. You are lacking a sense because there's millions and millions of people that have evolved to adopt this sense, and I'm talking microevolution, guys. Um, and all of a sudden they are aware of God. You know what I mean? So that's the best way that I can explain why some people don't see God at all, because it's almost like a lack. It's like a sixth sense that we some people just don't have. And a lot of people, Maxwell, that don't believe in God are actually didn't have a good relationship with their biological father, or didn't have a father in their life. So I'm not saying that's happening to you or anybody else, but if you didn't have your father in your life and you don't believe in God, that's why. Because God is shown to the children through the father. When a child looks at his father, he sees God. If that doesn't happen to a child, they're going to grow up an atheist. Caleb Huang, stop grieving the Holy Spirit and Jesus will no longer be sad with you. Jason Smith, my grandfather is a paleontologist and archaeologist. He has found dinosaur and human footprints together, even though they are supposedly 65 million years apart. That's hard to believe, but I mean, I can't prove it or disprove it. Bam, you can't find old trees. The rings alone only show a few hundred years. When looking for the oldest ones we can find, Earth is probably under 10,000 years. We can't know. We don't know. We'll never know, dude. We don't know if it's flat or round either, you know? It's just all... They're all trying to get you to think about that stuff. It's all intellectual stuff, man. It's entertaining, don't get me wrong. It's like entertaining to talk about this stuff, but like science and stuff like that, or whatever, it can be entertaining until you realize that it's all kind of a scam, dude. You got to look at the people that are providing this information to you, you know? Wildstar, are you a flat earther? Just wondering. No, I don't know. I'm one of those guys that just says, I'm not afraid to say I don't know, because no one does know. Hero Diamond, so Darwin based evolution off of a species of birds that looked different in different islands, even though it was the same. It wasn't evolution, it was just adaptation to the different diets. Right. Martin O'Donnell, when I was young, I ate junk food, but was very active and healthy. Still, you need to eat nutrient-dense foods to keep your body functioning 100%. Maxwell Hanker, the rate of change of evolution is always changing. We have gone millions of years fairly unchanged at times, yet other times we have evolved much faster. You know of the stoned ape theory? We went up. Yeah, I think, yeah. I thought that was cool at first too, but I think the stoned ape theory is dumb too. But no, Maxwell, I need a number. Like if you understand math and statistics and stuff like that, I need a number from you in order for you to prove evolution to me. So go out and research it and come back with an actual number, an actual rate. The rate of change of evolution within an animal species. If you think apes came, if you think humans came from apes, what is the rate of change? What time periods? How long did it take? Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? There should be an average rate of change. Orbit 23, I agree about science not being trustworthy. What I'm trying to say, Maxwell, there should be an observable average rate of change, and there's not. Nobody can provide it, dude. Orbit 23, I agree about science not being trustworthy. Evolution is a spiritual concept. You reincarnate at the corresponding physical level as you are at spiritually. Look within and you will see it's true. Yeah, you got it. Caleb Huang, there are things in the Bible that are hard to comprehend. God operates through faith. Our human minds can't comprehend the entirety of God. Absolutely. Wildstyle, there is a creator. There has to be. How the hell could it all come from nothing? Snow ass meteor. That's why it blows my mind, people that don't believe in God. It's so much more logical to think that there was a creator, but then it's like, who made the creator? So I kind of get it, but that's when you have to just kind of submit. That's when you have to submit to the creator and understand that your brain is not nearly as powerful as his, so you can't even understand how he came about and how you came about. Wildstyle, is this a one-sided conversation? I'm not sure what you mean. Maven Taylor, can you still access the original Milk Jar videos before he was banned? I didn't know Milk Jar was banned. Oh, the original Milk, yeah, because he did the twin bro thing. I don't know, dude. Maxwell, your skepticism of the Bible makes me feel a lot better, but you want to talk red pill? The only place you're going when you die is the dirt? Sorry, man. Dude, I'm I'm sorry you feel that way, dude, but that's just not true, man. You got tricked by somebody to think that you just go to dirt. Life is infinite, man. Martin O'Donnell, your body won't last long on standard American diet. Look at the disease rates increasing, and look at our decreasing consumption of animal foods since the 60s when saturated fat was demonized. Snow ass, dude, all of these books are corrupt. Yeah. Books are trash, dude. The truth is in your heart, man. Books are garbage. You can learn some interesting stuff from books, but ultimately it's nothing that you probably didn't know in your own heart in the first place. Bam, I don't believe dinosaurs even existed. Yeah, that's a tough one, isn't it? Right, Billy Dodd. Well, atheism is like throwing computer parts over a wall and expecting them to compile themselves into a functional computer. Yep. Atheism is a religion called science fiction. This stuff all makes sense when you realize. Did you know there's a link between atheism and autism? You gotta expand your mind out beyond religion and beyond God and beyond science and just learn things like there's a link between atheism and autism, and there's a link between atheism and fatherless households. You have to look at every single variable to be able to understand this stuff. Coal Slice, the likelihood of evolution to occur is akin to a hurricane running through a junkyard and making a Ferrari. Right. Little Viking Coach, Darwin's theory, a theory is a guess. Yeah, I couldn't get into Darwin's book. I got that, I think, from my mom or something. I don't know why she gave me that. Because she believes in God. Isn't that weird? My mom believes in God. Maybe she's a little crazy. Snow asks, no, I think all these books are really valuable. We need them, but what I do is take what's common from all of them. These books are how God communicated to us. Not us, but the books were how God communicated to them, and then they translated it. So, Maxwell Hanker, your logic is bumming me out. You deny Evo unless you get a rate of change, but you can't explain your sense of God. If you can't explain something that... Dude, I don't have to explain my sense of God to you. You know what I can do, though? I can ban you. How about that one? Coal Slice, you can't understand God. Exactly. Snow Ass. But in the Quran, for example, it says that he's going to tell all the different groups the truth when we die, but follow what you have. Snow Ass, they're all good. You just got to take the good out, which everyone follow. Right. Yeah. Maxwell, you are a gamma male, my friend. Gamma males are not allowed in the chat. For you to think that it's my obligation to explain God to you is like total gamma male behavior on my stream. You know what I'm saying? This is a nutrition channel, bro. To like demand my explanations of God to you is like, it's just annoying, man. Don't feel bad, Maxwell. You're like one of like 100 people I've banned this month, so I think you'll be all right. You're a big boy. Yeah, that's a good call. Eat raw meats. Maybe hang a sign on the wall behind you. No gamma males allowed. Yeah, I should, man. Definitely. No gammas. Hero Diamond. When I did DMT in college, I saw God in the form of Brahman, aka the Hindu version. That's where I accepted God. I've also seen that. I've seen the Hindu deities on mushrooms. I've seen Egyptian gods. I think I might have saw Jesus one time. All that stuff. Yeah, it's very interesting how God can somehow enter like psychedelic trips. I don't understand psychedelics, dude. Yeah, Maxwell just wasn't listening, man. I tried to explain myself like really politely, like 50 different ways, and he just didn't get it. I was like, yeah, I believe in God, but it's I don't believe in the Bible, and I was like, all that stuff. Just didn't get it. And then I also said, it doesn't matter what I tell you about God. It doesn't matter what you tell me about God. It doesn't matter what you read about God. It doesn't matter what I read about God. It all comes down to your individual connection. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't agree with that, then just leave my channel. Don't keep typing shit. Just get out of here. You know what I mean? It's really that easy. And that's when the gamma males start to reveal themselves, when they can't leave. Like they can't help themselves. They have to argue with you. You know what I mean? It's like, just go, dude. If I'm bumming you out, what would make you want to type that on my chat? You know what I'm saying? What would motivate you to want to keep arguing with somebody about God? You know what I mean? It's obviously coming from not a good place, you know? Hero Damon, God is terrifying and beautiful to look at. The true word is awesome. Yeah, I believe it, man. Yeah. Abraham Ismail, am I banned? No, you're not banned. Hero Damon, I read the Bhagavad Gita and had tremendous revelations. You should read the Bhagavad Gita, aka Song of the Gods. I've heard about that. Caleb Huang, psychedelics are keys to the spirit realm. I think psychedelics were part of a ritual. I think they were ritualistic, and I think they were used in ceremonies to praise God and stuff like that. But psychedelics are also used in very bad ways, guys. So just like anything can be used, you know what I mean? So it's not that psychedelics like necessarily like connect you straight with God, but I think it can enhance an already established connection if used in the proper ritual by an adult, like tribes have been doing in ritualistic settings and stuff like that. But this whole Americanized version of psychedelics where it's like, hey man, let's be like Joe Rogan and take bong hits of DMT, man, like and listen to Pink Floyd, man. Like, yeah, I'm sure that's what God wanted us to do with psychedelics, guys. Like, make crystals out of it in a laboratory and then bump a bunch of Pink Floyd. That's not what he wanted us to do. The Mayans and the Aztecs would go on a fast. They would fast for like 2-3 days, and then they would eat a bunch of mushrooms, and then they would drink chocolate all night and just have a big like party. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, if you were like living in a jungle and you found some mushrooms and you wanted to fast and eat some mushrooms and party with your tribe, what the hell is wrong with that, dude? This whole fear mongering on psychedelics is another thing. It's another brainwash, but I don't like to get into it because I'm not trying to say I'm pushing psychedelics, but you shouldn't be afraid of like natural psychedelics like mushrooms and stuff like that, because they're created by God. They can be very powerful. You should be very respectful of them, is the way I put it. But if you're an adult over 25 and you want to eat a mushroom out of the ground, freaking eat it, dude. Perfectly fine for you. I hate people that speak bad blanketly about psychedelics, I think DMT is horse shit. I think LSD is probably horse shit too. All that stuff. People, last March I had a bad LSD trip and I ended up watching Owen Benjamin to calm down. I prayed to God and I saw strange Christian symbolism. Yeah, dude, LSD is no good. It's man-made, bro. Ricky Berger, for some reason I haven't been craving meat lately, so I've had nothing but raw kefir for the past 5 days. Really loving it. Great light energy. Wow. Yeah, sounds like we're going through the same thing. Interesting. I think you said you also had like a vomiting episode too, huh? Yeah, I haven't been craving meat either. Isn't that weird? Raw kefir, nice. That's not too rough on you? Like fermented? P. Miller, that was the last time I ever touched drugs. Good move, man. Yeah, I'm also completely free of drugs and alcohol. It's no good, man. I've had stretches in my life where I was sober, 3 years at a time and stuff like that. It's very, very helpful, man. Clear the mind. Martin O'Donnell, in my opinion, the stuff you see under the influence of psychedelics are an illusion. They're the devils trying to possess you. I think so too, dude. I think it's entities. Yeah, just like you're saying, the devils, I call them entities, but you encounter all these weird entities on like, especially when you go on like high dose mushroom trips, man. Like, holy shit, some of the weird stuff that I saw was like, it was very almost unexplainable stuff. I actually, I have drawings of it. Uh, I would go on these like really hardcore mushroom trips, um, and then I would draw pictures of the shit that I saw, and it was like just very, very strange looking stuff. Strange looking little entities. Snow asks, when I asked God, he led me to Islam in a dream, so I try to follow the Quran, the closet. Fear is what drives people to argue ultimately. Yeah, that's true. Ricky Berger also, hi, good evening, you're looking well and happy. Hey, thanks. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I had a good day at work, and just life is like just continuing to get better for me all the time in just every way imaginable. Like, just really having a lot of breakthroughs in life, and this diet's been like a really big part of it because it's helped me just get my mind straightened out and get everything going again. Hope everything's going well with you too. Abraham Ismail, not to discredit you, but fish is superior to milk, and it's light. Want to try that? Eat raw meat. Haleman talked to clowns and elves that tried to frighten when you used DMT. Yeah, see, DMT's too hardcore, man. Like, bong hits of DMT, dude. Come on. I do not recommend this, man, but I'm just telling you this as a fact. You can enter the DMT realm if you eat 7 grams of mushrooms and turn all your lights off. 100% the truth. Just, yeah. It's the same thing, guys. Psilocybin, the active ingredient in mushrooms, the chemical structure of it has the word DMT in it. It's in mushrooms, guys. So they're telling you to smoke crystals in a bong, but you can get the same DMT from a mushroom that grows on the ground naturally. P. Miller, Martin, psychedelics are a gateway to good and bad entities. Yes, they are. Psychedelics lift the veil as fasting and raw meat does. This is why when you do raw meat long enough, you don't crave tripping anymore. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, that's very interesting. They do lift the veil, though. Absolutely, man. I almost think that that mushrooms almost like put me into the whole red pill thing. Eat raw meat. Are there effects when I take 1 gram of mushrooms or 0.5 grams? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Dude, if you have 1 gram of a good mushroom, it will rock you for like 6 hours, especially if it's fresh. Yeah, I've taken just 1 gram of mushrooms before, and it freaking rocked me, dude. Snow asks, I stay away from mushrooms because God says to stay away from intoxicants. Yes, he does. But is mushroom an intoxicant? You know? Slightly. Yeah, slightly. Eat raw meat. Is it safe to order some on the internet and grow it yourself? Um, um, I don't want to recommend that on the internet, dude. Shoot me an email. Casey Ellen showed me DMT is easily extracted straight from plants, no chemical change. Yeah, for what, from acacia bark or something? But they're using solvents though? Am I correct on that, Casey? Don't they use solvents to extract DMT from acacia? God did say be sober minded. Yes, he did. He did. Yeah. But you're talking about the Bible though, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing is, Caleb, like, I agree with like all of this, all of this, most of the stuff that's written in the Bible as far as like the morals and the central tenets of forgiveness and all that stuff. But like, I've gone extremely deep on mushrooms, deeper than probably 99% of people would go, because I naturally just don't have really like, I don't have like a natural fear of things, so I wasn't scared to do it. So I just did it. And I'm telling you, man, like what I experienced on my trips, it felt like God was there the whole time. And it felt like that was one of the first times in my life I ever encountered God. So there's nothing in me that says, like, God doesn't tell me that mushrooms are bad. So it's just, I don't know what to say about them. I'm kind of confused about them because everybody says, you shouldn't be under the influence of intoxicants and stuff like that. Yet I had mind-blowing encounters with God, so I don't know what to make of it, man. But I go with my experiences, and my experiences were good, so that's all I can say. I'm not going to be one of those guys that's like, oh, I had a bad, everybody wants to talk about their bad trip, and it just scares everybody. But it's a ritual, and the reason I don't recommend psychedelics to people is because everybody uses them in the wrong context. If you're not going to take a high dose and shut your lights off and do it by yourself, and if you're scared to do that, then you should never touch mushrooms. If you're not scared to eat 7 grams of mushrooms and shut your lights off and do it by yourself like I did in complete darkness for 6 hours, if you're scared to do that, you should never touch mushrooms. If you're even slightly scared of mushrooms or psychedelics, you should never touch them. It's all about fear, man. Fear is really what controls most of this. And I think that's where the bad trips come in, is when people are full of fear when they get into them. And then when you're under the influence of fear, you're therefore under the influence of the devil, and there you're inviting the devil into your trip. So I think that's really what separates good and bad experiences with these whole sacraments, But there's still illegal drugs, and so it's something you should be careful about. Cole Slice, insight into spiritual warfare, like good and evil. Yeah, man, very, very real. Very, very real thing, man. Like, we're all under the influence of good and evil, but you're only serving one or the other. That's the tricky thing, man. You may think you're serving both at certain times, but you're probably just serving Satan. So you gotta serve God, because you have no free will. So you just gotta, the way you serve God is just by doing all of His right ways, and then eventually you'll just become, enlightened. But He has to choose you first. It's really kind of not up to you. Timothy McNamara, what's your thoughts on college? Do you think it's worth it? Nah, definitely not. Everybody in my family went to college. If anybody should have went to college, it should have been me and my family, but everybody else went, and none of them are using their degrees. And I'm freaking light years ahead of them, dude. I'm light years ahead of my family. Everybody's got a college degree. They know nothing about nutrition. They're all stuck on fake Christianity and all this stuff. They're all super brainwashed and obsessed with their ego, and that's what education does to you, is it makes you obsessed with intellect and knowledge and your ego, because knowledge is ego, and the Satan wants you to be connected to your ego. He wants you to be obsessed with yourself, your physical self, because that's not what you are. Your physical self is this temporary thing that gets shed off when you die, but you're always a spirit, you know what I mean? So when you're obsessed with your ego, you're getting disconnected from your spirit, and then all that stuff. Martin O'Donnell, try to connect with Jesus and God on mushrooms. You will get the opposite every time, to straight demonic schizophrenic possession. Don't try to connect with them, just, that's some kind of fear-mongering there. Schizophrenic possession. I don't understand where you're getting that from. Snow asks, do you believe we'll get funner? Because I never had schizophrenic possession on mushrooms, but maybe if you're schizophrenic, you will. Do you believe we'll get funner stuff if we stay away from the fun stuff right now? Yeah, well, peace. If you stay away from the fun stuff now, then you'll get peace. And peace is something that's infinite. It's something that doesn't come along with a drug or a high. It's not up or down. You don't come up and then come down like a drug. Peace is something that's constant in your life. That's something that I have right now, and it only came from giving up bad foods and drugs and alcohol and shit. Caleb Hoying, do you believe in speaking in tongues? Definitely not. Eat raw meat. A friend told me that he saw Native Americans crawling out of a power outlet when he's on an LSD trip and the wall spoke to him. Yeah, definitely. Stuff like that will happen. It's really weird. I saw a lot of Native American stuff too. It's just so unexplainable. It's not necessarily why, it's not necessarily what you're seeing, it's why you're seeing what you're seeing. That's what really gets people confused and thinking about this stuff for years. I still think about my experiences. Why did I see all these Hindu deities and stuff like that? Ricky Berger, no, I only drink kefir. I prefer it to milk, and it seems easier on my system. Oh man, let's see. Yes, I think I was eating too much. I'm a naturally petite girl, but I was trying to fatten up as audience recommended. It didn't work for me. Yeah, we're going through the same thing. That's awesome. I mean, it's not awesome, but it's cool to know that you're experiencing kind of the same thing. And yeah, I was trying to fatten up too, you know, and I was like just smashing my face full of nutrient dense foods. Hero Damon, all psychedelics are basically DMT. Look up Sasha Shuglin. That kind of makes sense. P. Miller, I do miss psychedelics, but I got the message there's no need to go back. At this point, it would just be indulgence. Yeah, I think it was Timothy Leary that said once you hang up, or once you get the message, hang up the phone. I never forgot that, man. Because I got the message like 5 times and I kept going back in. I did like a very long series of experiences. It was very interesting. Hero Damon, in my language, mushrooms is spelled Capudra, which is a triple entendre having the words kerp, flesh, means orders or revelations of the way, the flesh of the earth leading us. Huh, revealed to me by mushrooms. That's crazy. Eat raw meat. Derek Nance said that killing an animal with a headshot or blunt trauma to the head is bad because then they don't release DMT when they die. The best way is to bleed them out so they produce it. Huh. They just pass out with a nice DMT trip. Yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah, I saw him kill that animal on his channel. That was pretty crazy. P. Miller, psychs lead me down a road of despair. At the time, I didn't know it, but I was very disconnected from God. I did find Severi and raw meat on a trip, though, so I guess that's good. Yeah, isn't that weird? You found Severi and raw meat on a trip. Ojin's Thunder Planets, he went on a crazy-ass mushroom trip, and he ended up eating raw meat. I went on a fucking shitload of trips on mushrooms, and I ended up eating raw meat. So, what is up with that? They say psilocybin like hyper connects your mind. It like it like hyper connects your thoughts in your mind and stuff like that. So maybe it really does, you know. And it seems, if you've ever done them, it does kind of seem like that's what it's doing, because you come out the next day thinking like you just know you have this like it felt like I had like 3 brains. It was weird, but I had like more brains than one. It was like I was just hyper connected. And so maybe just all the brainwashing just dulls your mind, and the psychedelics kind of boost you up. You know, I think psychedelics are for spiritually sick people. I really do. Because I think God leads his most sickest children to psychedelics to kind of just like rock them one time and just give them kind of a final shot at snapping out of their despair and their fear, you know? Cassie Ellen Shobi, yes, you use a solvent to dissolve the DMT, but then totally evaporate off the solvent. In the end, you're basically just separating the soluble DMT that's already there from the fiber. Sure, yeah. I mean, it's still a man-made process, though. Snow asks, fear leads to anger, and anger leads to hate. I don't use it anymore, but used to too, and I got a lot of good realizations from it. Well, I'm happy for you, man. And, you know, I have to speak bad about it because it kind of goes with my whole theme of my channel of natural foods, natural living, natural processing of things. And anytime you're using like a solvent or something like that, it's not the way that God intended it, per se. So, you know, I can only speak on mushrooms, dude. And like most people would agree that they're totally harmless. And you can even Google it. It's like impossible to overdose on them and stuff. Hero Damn, and if you're possessed by the devil, DMT won't work on you. Can you be under the influence of kefir? Maybe. Casey Allen Shobi, I was able to literally enter into the presence of God on DMT. Don't need any more after that experience. Yeah, me too, dude. Yeah, when you do 7 grams of mushrooms in the dark, I promise you, it's the same thing. You enter this like jewelly, crystally world, and it's very interesting, man. Eat raw meat. What happened if you eat 100 grams of mushrooms? Look it up. There's people that have done it, dude. There's like some major trip reports you can read that are really weird. But 100 grams, let's see, how much is that? That's like almost 4 ounces. You'd probably puke them up and trip your face off for like 24 hours and then sleep for like 24 hours. Cole Slice, expound on how we don't have free will. The best way I can explain it is think about the last time that you made an unexpected, major, tragic mistake in your life. Everybody's done it. If you have free will, why did you make that mistake? Nobody can really answer that because nobody knows how they make mistakes, you know? Like, let's say you're like working on a car, right? And you're like hammering a screwdriver into something, trying to get something down, and you bang that hammer into your hand, why'd you do that, right? If you have like 100% free will over everything, why did you bang your hand with that hammer, right? That is like it's like a glitch in the matrix. That's like a glitch right there. And you can see those glitches everywhere. You just have to pay attention. And there's no way you can logically explain why you would make a mistake. And so that to me proves that you have no free will. And also when you kind of just look at the whole picture of your whole life, on just the whole path you've taken and stuff like that, when you look through the whole path, you realize you really weren't doing any of it. Meteor Man, I always felt like fear made my trip better, like a scary trip, really a bad trip. I don't understand bad trips, man. I can't talk on them because I never had one. But I think it's just like, I don't know, dude. It could be just something they ate. You guys ever think about that? What if you ate a bunch of shitty food before you tripped and that was what influenced your trip? What if bad food is what makes bad trips? That's why they fasted before they tripped. Maxwell Hanker, my bad I'm being gamma. I was truly enjoying your responses. Didn't mean to get banned, but F me. Nice talking with you. Hey, man. Well, thanks for coming back and apologizing. That was really nice. And you're welcome back, dude. It's just, you got to understand, Maxwell, like, I deal with gammas all the fucking time, dude. And, like, at least you understood what I was trying to say. It's just, it gets kind of annoying when people don't understand what I'm saying and they kind of keep digging in and, you know, whatever. But you're welcome to come back, dude. It's just, that's all I can really do to keep like the conversation flowing. Let's put it that way. Snow asks, if they didn't have as much fear about accepting Anakin and saw the good side like Qui-Gon, Anakin would never have hated them so much that he might have never killed all those kids. Hero Damon, I heard of a guy who did mushrooms for a month straight. He starved himself and his belly turned blue when they rescued him. Wow. Blue? Jeez. P. Miller, it seems like many of us here who got into the primal diet come from a past of psychedelic use. I know, isn't that strange? I wonder if we're just experimental and open-minded people who were destined to find this diet. That might be part of it. I had some really weird experience. I had a really weird experience on when I was doing that about the food I was eating. It was very strange, man. Like I had a message basically come to me that was like, you need to stop. Because I ate like some Mexican food before I ate mushrooms. And then like during my trip, I could feel the food coming out of my pores. And also at the same time, I was getting these like really weird revelations about the animals that were used to make my food, my fast food. And I had this just intense revelation that the animals were like not in good conditions and stuff like that. It was weird. I think this was before I even started eating raw meat. And so it was just like a really bizarre thing that happened one time when I ate like fast food before I ate mushrooms. And within like a couple months after that, I went on the raw primal diet. So I think the food you eat can definitely influence your trips. Eat raw meat. Do you think those entities like machine elves and so on use mushrooms in their dimension to come here and interact with us? I don't know, man. I've thought about that too. I don't know, man, what the machine elves are. It's weird. One word, Salvia divorium. Yeah, Salvia's got there's some weird stories about that. Most plants today are man-made. Yes, they are. Eat raw meat. So is fasting and then taking mushrooms better? I would imagine, dude. Way better. I don't know if I did that. I don't think I ever fasted. But it makes perfect sense, man. Like, because the clarity I get from fasting, I couldn't imagine, like, the clarity I would get, like, tripping on a fast. That'd be crazy. All right, guys. Well, this sucks. 'Cause this conversation is actually pretty interesting, but I gotta probably end here in a couple minutes. If you guys got any final questions here, I gotta get my dogs from outside and continue my evening here. Animal Mother, have you done a mushroom trip since being on this diet? I don't think so. No. But I've thought about doing one more. One more for the road. Just to kind of see what it would be like on like a clean diet like this, you know? But the problem is like I found God instead, you know what I mean? And like, it's just, my life is so much better. It's like, and I've also gotten most of the messages that you can get from it. So it would be like more of a recreational thing than anything, but all right, guys. So, I think I'm going to cut the stream here in just a minute here. And I appreciate everybody showing up for the evening stream. I'm actually really surprised how many people were up to catch the evening stream. That usually around my breakfast streams. But you guys all take care of yourselves, and I'll be back here maybe within a day or two. So everybody keep eating raw meat. God bless. Take her easy.